Okay, now we're going somewhere. Okay. So I just clicked on some button and now I should be live. If anyone can hear me, please write down in the comments if the sound is okay, if you can hear me correctly, if the image is okay on my camera. I will wait a couple of minutes. Maybe I wasn't live yet because I'm on my software saying that everything is okay, but I don't see someone reacting nor the viewer or the current viewers. So I will wait that someone is connecting to be sure that everything is on point and on my broadcast. Oh, I'm live. Amazing. So yeah, should be live, I guess. We'll just try to re-upload that. So okay, two people are watching. Great. Once again, tell me in the comment if everything's okay, if everything is fine on your hand. And that's that. View channel. And we're live on the One Kyokushin account. Very great. Switch account. My account. As it started on my account. And it didn't on my account. I don't know why. It's a shame because I wanted to display it. Maybe I should create a live. I'm just going to check that like 1 minute because if I can do it, I just will do the live and upload it afterwards on my channel. Mm-hmm. Everything is good. Thank you, Peter, for telling me that everything is good. So we could start. We could start a live. So I chose this time. I chose three subjects, as you might have seen on the thumbnail. I chose to talk about the discipline and motivations, which are concepts that have a connection, a strong connection, especially in our field, in martial arts, combat sports. So um, we will discuss the definition of each of these concepts like briefly. It's not a course, but why it is important to focus on them if we are in martial arts, and we'll discuss later in the video sparring because of some situation that happened after a reel I posted. I really was surprised of the difference of the reactions I had of this reel, but I will tell you everything right after. So um, motivation is something really important if we want to start something. If you want to start something, this is definitely we will need motivation. Motivation is a factor that will help us start something, whether it is martial art, whether it is a school. It will be driven by potential goals that we want to reach. It could be financial, it could be a sports goal, it could be about your diet, your health. Uh, but why is it important to be motivated? Because if you're not motivated to do something, it will mean that you will do it under the influence of something outside of you. So motivation can be outside of you sometimes, but without even an outside motivation, it's like something is going to force you to do something, but we couldn't be forced to do. We could be forced to do so many things in our lives, such maybe as work. You will work a job that you don't like, or at least for a short period of time, or really something anything else. But regarding martial arts, regarding Kyokushin, especially if you're into Kyokushin, I guess for the most part, most of the people who will watch this podcast will be into Kyokushin. You need the motivation to at least start someday to step up, to step in the dojo, right? And motivation is really something that should be discussed because what we do isn't easy. what we do isn't easy, so it really should be discussed in the sense that you will understand really why you need it, why you need it in your daily practice, why you need it. How can we always be motivated? In my opinion, no. Motivation is something that will come from time to time, and that will sometimes we will have like a big motivation to do something, especially when we start something, especially when we will start something. The first time you enter a dojo, you will be thrilled and excited about everything new that you will learn. You will be excited and really enjoy everything that you will learn. And will it be the same motivation you will have after 10 years or 15 years? I'll ask you the question and let you reply in the comments if you think you can be as motivated when you step in a dojo as about 15 years later. 10 years, 15 years, it doesn't matter, but we won't say only 1 month or a year because it could still be the same. But what about 10 years later? If you think about it for your own practice, your own career, do you think you'll be as motivated as when you've set foot in the dojo for the first time compared to maybe 10 years later? So tell me in the comments what you think about that. Donc, pour ceux qui regarderaient en français la vidéo, donc le podcast, je suis en train de demander ici si vous pensez qu'on peut être motivé à faire quelque chose. Donc, pour nous, c'est les arts martiaux, c'est les sports de combat, c'est le Kyokushin. Si on peut être aussi motivé quand on rentre pour la première fois dans un dojo, 10 ans plus tard, est-ce qu'on va avoir la même motivation quand on va y aller? Parce que ça, au début, on va apprendre forcément plein de choses nouvelles, plein de choses. Est-ce que vous pensez qu'on va avoir exactement, ou en tout cas à peu près le même degré de motivation la première fois qu'on va rentrer dans un dojo, où encore une fois tout est nouveau, on apprend plein de choses, par rapport à peut-être 10 ans plus tard? Parce que 10 ans plus tard, on peut avoir la même motivation. Euh, voilà, dites-moi dans les commentaires si ça vous parle. Je vais attendre un petit peu donc qu'on ait quelques réponses, comme ça on pourra en discuter. So I'll wait again 1 or 2 minutes so we could discuss about it. Really tell me your point of view. I don't need like a perfect answer. Donc j'ai pas besoin d'une réponse. Il n'y a pas de bonne ou mauvaise réponse. There's no good answer. Just tell me what's on your mind. It's really a discussion. This is a safe place for you to speak your mind. So really, don't look for a perfect answer. I will give you my opinion, of course, right after. So I just can't find the direct on my own YouTube channel. I don't know how I did it last time. Maybe it will record it just after. So really use the comment section to tell me what you think about this question I asked. So for the viewers maybe who just arrived, I was asking if you think that we can have the same motivation that we would have entering a dojo. So the day you enter a dojo compared to when you will maybe black belt, brown belt, so 10 years later, do you think we'll have the same motivation? Just going to move that a little bit. Oh, like that is good. So it doesn't hide my perfect face. Up. Um, Maybe also it's interesting to have a definition of motivation, what it is, how could it be defined? So before answering the question, uh, motivation can be seen as the forces. So I talked about external motivation. So there are internal factors that can influence motivation. So you can have an internal motivation, maybe more about something you believe in. You can, for example, practice Kyokushin because you believe very much in its value. You believe very much in its values, core values such as humility, such as um, honor. This is really abstract concepts, but it's something I guess every karateka will enjoy will enjoy finding in Kyokushin. So it can be a motivation because you could say that, oh, fighting is great, but I could do boxing, I could do another discipline that maybe has the same values, but not maybe not as we do it, not maybe not the same way than we approach them, if you know what I mean. Donc je disais, pour les gens qui nous écouteraient en français, qu'on peut avoir des motivations internes et externes. Donc je parlais de motivation tout à l'heure, on peut avoir des motivations internes et externes. Motivation interne, bah, ça pourrait par exemple être si, voilà, si je fais du Kyokushin, je vais peut-être en faire, je vais être motivé parce que à cause des valeurs. Grâce aux valeurs plutôt que le Kyokushin propose, comme l'honneur, l'humilité, ça peut vraiment être voilà, n'importe laquelle, peut-être même toute en fait, hein. Moi, voilà, une des valeurs que je préfère dans le Kyokushin, c'est l'honneur. C'est vraiment celle qui dit qu'on va s'affronter avec un gars, avec quelqu'un dans dans un match. On va se donner des coups, on va se frapper. Mais en même temps, on va se saluer à la fin et on va devenir, pour la plupart du temps, amis. Comme je le dis souvent, je me suis jamais fait autant d'amis que dans le Kyokushin. I've never made as many friends as when I was doing Kyokushin, is what I meant in French. Meaning that honor is one of my favorite core value in Kyokushin. So it's an internal motivation. And external motivation can be something as being sharp, being strong, being physically able, being feeling strong. So even if my feeling is internal, Kyokushin helps me having a strong body. So it will be external. I'm looking when doing Kyokushin to have an external motivation. I will be rather I will be motivated because Kyokushin can bring me a good better body, a stronger body. So I haven't had an answer. Maybe not enough people are watching us currently. So basically, um, I think you won't have the same motivation when you enter a Kyokushin dojo. I'm just going to drop down the camera a little bit. I think it's better like that. I think you won't have the same motivation when you enter a dojo as when you will be 10 years later in that same dojo, or even because even though you're still training today, even though you're still practicing, I think for my part that you can be as motivated as first because there's the exact same excitement. Motivation, in my opinion, is something more spontaneous. Does it mean that you don't have motivation 10 years later when you do Kyokushin? Of course not. You're motivated to go, but maybe not as much as you were motivated before. And that's where the discipline will intervene in, I guess. So discipline, I'm not going to talk about at least not right now about discipline um, such as being all military in Fudodachi, waiting, looking straight, listening, etc. This is also discipline, but discipline rather in everything around Kyokushin, around your practice, really, and in daily life it's the same. Um, yeah. Oh, great. I'm going to just come back to Peter that who is saying I have been doing Kyokushin for a year and a half, and I can't see myself. I can't. So you cannot see myself losing motivation. and that's good. You're still early in your journey, so really, that's really good that you're not losing this motivation really, um, but you're still early in your journey. And this is something really maybe hard to see because you cannot always project yourself. Maybe in 10 years life will be different, so you will have other motivations for other things in life, and that's good. And in the same time, um, it's good because it means that you really are focused on your practice. It means that you really are into what you're doing right now. And I wish that you keep the same motivation by keeping to go to the gym. But what will lead you to become maybe a better karateka? And I'm not talking only about you specifically, Peter, but everything, everybody else. What you are going to what is going to bring you really more experience, more to be a better karateka, better fighter, a better whatever you want actually in life is discipline. Discipline in the sense that you go to training even though sometimes you're not motivated. That you go to the gym even though sometimes you would prefer to maybe watch a movie. So discipline is an important aspect for the long term. It's really the continuation of motivation. You can be motivated sometimes, and discipline will come like easily. And if you're not motivated to go to the gym or to the dojo sometimes, discipline is the thing that will bring you to the dojo, if you know what I mean. So the difference is fundamental between these two concepts, even though they're really connected. Um, it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that if you go to the dojo on your own with because of discipline, because you have maybe a grade, maybe grading sometime soon, or maybe a championship. It doesn't mean that you are not motivated, but there are so many things that could come up before the before the training. While discipline is putting yourself, knowing why you do it. Motivation, you know why you do things too. You love it. It's more internal. Discipline is like forcing yourself to go, even though when you're not that motivated. You do Kyokushin, you love it. You know that you're sure of it. You're sure it's your way of life. But maybe that sometimes you're not motivated to go to the dojo. And what will bring you to the dojo then is discipline. Discipline is really a key, the key element that will make the difference, right? If you know what I mean. So if some people are watching, tell me if you have the same feeling about your practice. Tell me if tell me your the years you've been practicing Kyokushin or martial arts in general, and tell me if you are still motivated to that day as when you started, as motivated as going with always going with the joy of the beginner. Tell me if you're still motivated as the day started, and also if sometimes you go without motivation to the dojo but with discipline. Tell me about that. I'm curious to know how you mix both in your daily or weekly sport practice. I'm waiting for your answer in the comments. Um, I've just started reading the book of Masoyama. Um, what is karate? So it's really a basic book about every technique. It's almost I've only started, so I haven't gone that far. But in some in the early pages, if it is the one, because I started actually reading the other ones too to know what they were talking about. So in the beginning, um, and Masoyama was saying that sometimes I don't want to go to training because I'm human. Sometimes I'd rather do something else. I couldn't recall the sentence exactly, but it was saying that even Masoyama, that we know for his dedication to Kyokushin and, and rather to martial arts, was feeling that like sometimes he didn't want to train. Sometimes he would want to stay maybe home, maybe something like that. So really, even the Kyokushin founder has said that he doesn't want to train. This idea can go through his mind. So even if the founder of Kyokushin felt that, it's normal that some many of us, I guess, will feel that at some point of their Kyokushin career, their martial career journey rather. So I guess Masoyama wasn't motivated every day to go to train to go train to to go beyond his limits. So it's interesting to see that even the person who is responsible for us being here on this podcast, but also for all the people in the world training Kyokushin, will say with an open heart that is still a human, and it's human not wanting to go on in competition. Oh, sorry, in competition. What am I saying? To go train. So it's really a human trait. I'm not going to say that we are lazy by nature, but we'd rather choose sometimes easy over hard, and that's where I guess discipline should intervene. So um, discipline will be more about routines. Discipline will be more about routine and habits. There's a difference between motivation. Motivation can be spontaneous, but if we only listen to motivation, especially in martial arts, because martial arts really ask to have a long-term vision, to have a long-term vision. If we only focus on motivation to do something, sometimes we will do it. Sometimes we will do it 100%, but it will last like maybe one day, 1 week, 1 month tops, and then it's over. And then when when we know that we're on the right path, but we're not motivated, we will need disciplines, and it will come with habits, um, with routines. So simply by saying, I know that I have training this day, this day, this day at that time, that time, that time. I will go. I will go to training no matter what, or almost no matter what. So discipline can be about setting an agenda. Maybe the agenda will impose itself to you, and just following this without anything that can come up in its way. But it can also be more personal. You can really put yourself on the stand and really take control of it. You can say that I've got three three training sessions a week, but I can also go. I can also go to training to the gym. I can train myself 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes a week, 1 hour, whenever you want, with Kion, with kata, with shadow boxing, with crunches, push-ups, anything actually with a discipline. We know that some champions train early in the morning. Some combat champions train early in the morning. They will have the discipline. I don't think your Mike Tyson. I think is I guess it's Mike Tyson who did it, or maybe Muhammad Ali. I can't recall. If you recall, you can tell me in the comments. Who said? No, it's Mike Tyson. I think it's definitely Mike Tyson who said that in the morning you will get up at 4 while others are still sleeping to go train at 4 a.m. So in the morning he would get up to train while the others are resting, and he sees it as discipline. I don't think it's motivated per se to go up at that time. Maybe if it was midday or 1 p.m., it will be motivated, but not in this precise case. Donc pour ceux qui nous écoutent en français, ben, je dis simplement que de bien faire la différence entre la motivation qui peut être très spontanée, qui peut venir, aller, venir. On va peut-être être motivé un jour à 100%, et puis on va plus être motivé du tout. Et donc si on veut une pratique, si on veut évoluer dans quelque chose, si on se base que sur la motivation, ben ça va être compliqué parce que, encore une fois, on peut pas être motivé tout le temps. C'est pratiquement pas possible. D'ailleurs, comme je le disais en anglais, Oyama lui-même disait que parfois l'entraînement, il n'avait pas forcément envie d'y aller, quoi, parce qu'on est des êtres humains, on n'a pas forcément toujours envie de s'entraîner, ou ça peut être pour autre chose, hein, d'étudier ou quoi que ce soit. Et donc, c'est là que va intervenir la discipline, qui est un concept différent. Là, on va mettre en place des routines. On peut mettre en place des routines. Donc, ça peut être, je vais me lever le matin. Donc, par exemple, ça peut être une routine, simplement, je sais que j'ai 3 entraînements semaine et je sais que je dois en manquer aucun. J'ai 3 entraînements semaine, lundi, mercredi, vendredi, j'ai l'entraînement, et ben j'y vais lundi, mercredi, vendredi. Ensuite, j'ai entraînement, ben, je peux me mettre des entraînements moi-même parce que ça, c'était ceux qui me sont donnés. Mais je peux moi-même me motiver, enfin plutôt me discipliner, c'est le cas de le dire. Donc me discipliner à me lever moi-même le matin pour faire 100 pompes ou 10 pompes ou 20 pompes. Ça peut être une fois semaine, ça peut être une fois tous les 2 jours. Je peux me discipliner à aller à la salle, me faire un programme. Si je sais pas en faire, ben, je peux toujours trouver quelqu'un qui va m'en faire un. Et c'est une discipline que je vais m'imposer à moi-même parce que là, encore une fois, personne n'a été me dire va t'entraîner, va ceci, cela. Et après, bon, évidemment, vous le faites pour des objectifs. Ça, c'est autre chose. Vous le faites pour des objectifs. Um, so definitely, having these two concepts in mind, motivation and discipline, is important, especially in martial arts. You cannot do martial arts if you're not motivated, because it's hard. We take hits. uh, I guess it's not like, maybe it is easier to be motivated by some things than others. In combat sports, you will take hits, you will get hurt, you will feel pain, you will sometimes be pushed beyond limits that you wouldn't even think, you wouldn't even thought were possible to reach. So maybe you can be easily or motivated by I don't know, cooking. It's not that cooking is bad, of course, but you could be motivated about finding a recipe every 2 days. But in martial arts, you will need disciplines to go beyond that, way beyond that. So um, don't forget, guys, to really use the comment section to ask questions about motivation, disciplines. Discipline, it's really a free space, so the goal is not just for me to talk, and really, don't hesitate to ask questions, don't hesitate to speak your mind, even if it's not a question. Just speak your mind, tell me what you think about motivation. If you have if you have lost some motivation recently, if you overcome it with discipline, or if you lack also discipline, tell me really everything about how you feel about these two concepts, and we'll talk about that again for a couple of minutes, and then we'll go to the sparring section, and I guess we will have fun, because I really have a lot to say about sparring. F- long story short, I just come back to this day when the podcast will be uploaded. will be for the live from a camp with Shian Valery Dimitrov. So he came to France to be to teach us his knowledge. So it was really really interesting. I had the chance to interview him. So in a couple of weeks, I will release an exclusive interview with Shian Valery Dimitrov. Of course, if you've been in Kyokushin for a while, you know him because he's really one of the most impressive fighters out there. He just retired a couple of weeks or months ago, so he did his last tournament. I guess it was last year, the last world tournament in Shin-Kyokushin, and I had the chance to spar with him too, and it was so it was so far from what I could comprehend as a Kyokushin practitioner. I've been doing Kyokushin for 16 years, and we can see champions and sometimes say what would I do without what would I do in front of someone like that, and I just couldn't do anything. It was a friendly match, of course. It was a friendly sparring of 1 minute, so it's not enough, but it has like a reading, but to reach such a level, it cannot be only through motivation. So in the interview, I didn't ask about his routine. I really wanted more of his opinion on Kyokushin, on on his daily how he did reach such a level, not really specifically on his routine, but he says I felt that when I was speaking to him that it was somebody really disciplined, because the way he fights now, the way he's been throughout all these years is is 22 times European champions. I don't know if you realize that he must be like 45 or so, maybe a bit less. So maybe as soon as he started competition in adults, maybe some of his titles are younger, but maybe he did, I don't know, 20 to 30 European championships, and he did win like 22 times. It's just an amazing record, an impressive record. Um, Someone like that cannot be where he is only thanks to thanks to motivation. He has to have a routine behind his accomplishments. There has to be a strong routine. Of course, he has coaches. He has the support of maybe his country somehow. You will find out everything in the interview. So, but just to say that meeting a champion really makes you and sparring with him actually makes you feel like if you want to go somewhere, uh, i- i- maybe not reach his level, but if you want to perform in competition, or if you want to get better in Kyokushin, you will need at least a fraction of what someone like this incredible fighter has done. So I have Marcos Barrero who says, "Same. I just started Kyokushin a year ago, and I'm not losing motivation either." And I think that's really good, because after 1 year, it's almost like in a relationship. You know that if you fit the person you're with after 1 year, it's like a time where you know you're done for something. And I guess if you've been in Kyokushin 1 year, you've seen about everything Kyokushin would propose, maybe camps, maybe competitions, maybe gradings too. So it's good because you know that you're built for Kyokushin, or and Kyokushin is built for you. So even if you're not motivated in 1 year, you know that you've been in Kyokushin, you've been motivated in Kyokushin for 1 year, and it was enough for you to know that it's something that's meant for you, definitely. So I wish you guys all the best for your careers, for your weekly practice, and just keep pushing. But don't forget that sometimes motivation will maybe be a bit down because you have something else to do, or something like that. We're not all built to be professional fighters. I've just talked about Shian Valery Dimitrov. We're not built all built to be professional fighters because simply we don't have the means, we don't want to, or anything else really. Um, but just being in martial arts will ask more than motivation. If motivation is not there, then it means that theoretically you can skip training, skip going. You won't be going to training every time because motivation sometimes might be absent. So discipline is what will bring you a long-term career, a long-term practice. So don't forget that although you're very motivated now, and I hope it will stay as much as possible that way, that you will need indeed a discipline, routines, habits to keep you going through your journey. So that's the first part. If you still have questions about discipline, motivation, can still take 2 minutes to talk about it. So really don't hesitate to use the comment section. Also, guys, don't hesitate to join my social media because I do a lot of content, educative content. If you want to progress in Kyokushin, I give my humble knowledge on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and of course YouTube. You just simply go look for Kyokushin Hero, and you will find me on every main social media. Um, I'm going to give you like 2 minutes if you still 1 minute or two if you still have questions or still want to talk about motivation. And if you have questions about how to be maybe more motivated or disciplined, we could also talk about it. I have like all the time in the world right now, so even though I'm a bit tired because this camp that I went to France with Sean Valery was quite intense, so it was really interesting. And I learned a lot from him. I'm really glad because I learned a lot. I really recorded a lot of video. Almost every time it was showing something, I was recording. So I will have a lot to come up with in the future, and try to bring this content to you. Also on my social media, I will just write my name. So follow. Maybe I can do this. Kyokushin Hero. That would be me. I don't know that it will take it. So maybe if I go on YouTube with this, and I still can't see the live on my own channel. I don't know why. Maybe I did something wrong. But no worries. I will go to the One Kyokushin account. Great. And on my channel, view channel, live. This is the live. So so you can find my TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everything. Now we are even on Apple Podcast and Spotify because these podcasts will go over there. So, like I said in the beginning of the of the live, if you want to listen to this podcast again, you can go back to Spotify, Apple Podcast, and listen. Maybe listen to it in your car or anywhere else. So, if there are no other questions and no no other questions about this, we're going to talk about sparring. So, why did I want to talk about sparring? I just this week, I guess, or maybe last week. Sometimes it goes so fast. So I uploaded a video of one of my students, young guy, really really promising. Sparring, so he's white belt. He's been in my dojo for a year only. Yeah, maybe beginning of the year started, and he did a sparring, a hard sparring with one of my students, who is green belt. Is actually my oldest, my more experienced student. So he's a third Q, green belt with a stripe, and they did a hard sparring. I was really very happy about it, so I just popped up my camera and recorded it and put it like always in my social medias because I was very glad that they did such a good match, and match is going well. I mean, everything according to me is fine. My green belt is his name is Jolan. I will call him Jolan. Did like overtake him a little bit. So of course he has more experience, so it's fair. But generally speaking, when you have a higher grade, it will just adapt to your way of working. So my the other guy is Sam. Sam wanted to go a bit harder on sparring, and it's a good thing because it's what will make him improve, evolve. So really, it was really a good match, a good match, and at some point, um, I posted the reel on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, and people were reacting with very different had very different opinions. I had like maybe 40 comments or I don't know something like that on Instagram, and I was a bit shocked because some people said white belt should go green belt shouldn't go that hard on white belt. It should help him instead of almost beating up. Some people were like saying that this was a beat up, but definitely wasn't because I would intervene, of course, and not just keep my camera going. Some other people said that if the white belt wants to go hard, the green belt should even go hard. So I really had like so many different opinions about this, and I found it interesting because some people would always also say that uh, they right to do hard sparring because it's not necessary to do light sparring. Other people would say the total opposite. If you're with a beginner, you should always do light sparring to help him improve. So, and I have my opinion on sparring, and you can of course again tell me in the comment what you think about this. You can tell me in the comment what you think about sparring. Um, in my opinion, there isn't one way to do good sparring. And I mean by that, especially if you want to go in competition, you cannot always do light sparring. You some of you are, I will take your example, for example, guys, Peter and Marcos. You guys have started Kyokushin for a while now. I don't know if you plan to go in competition soon or if you have already been in on the mat. But think about it that way. If you want to do uh, competition, you will face somebody you don't know his grade, probably not a black belt, but at least someone with experience. You can face someone with experience. So if you only do light sparring with the guys that are maybe a bit stronger than you, if they go easy on you like almost every time, it's like didn't even break a sweat after sparring with them. The day you will face a challenge with somebody that will be there to knock you down, put you on the ground, just completely destroy you. How do you think it will happen? How do you think you will manage to face somebody who is so strong um, because of his experience, because of his cardio, because of everything, because he's used to get hit? If you never have a hard sparring to mimic, to almost copy what would happen on a mat, would it be possible for you to be efficient in real conditions if you've never been stressed in uh, the dojo? So tell me in the comments what you think about what I've just said. So my point is, in my opinion, of course, maybe some will have other opinions. Um, my white belt did want at that time, at that precise moment, maybe next training he didn't have the same feeling to go a bit harder, and that was good for my green belt because sometimes he lacks somebody to work with him to give him at least a physical challenge. Maybe Sam was not because he's a white belt, it wasn't a technical challenge And I think you can always work on your technical part, even with the beginner, because you can block, you can find spots, you can. So I will even say that a beginner can help you improve your technical part, but maybe it will not be a technical challenge, but at least a physical challenge, because when you're 16, you've got a good dose of hormones, so you want to go hard, you're you're feeling brave, and it's a good thing in a good way, in a good way. He wanted to go hard, and the other one, why should he just go light on him? Of course, he should adapt to his level, but why should he go easy on him? Um, if the white belt wants to go a bit hard, I think, in my opinion, it would be even in almost insulting to him. Maybe he wants to go to competition. He's 16, so it's perfect age to enter competitions. But at that age, you almost look like a man. And he started only this year. He will face maybe people with blue belts, yellow belts, green belts. Even at that age, there are people who are brown belts. So if I never put him against someone a bit stronger than him to make him feel some challenge, how will he face somebody on the mat who is maybe 3 years, 4 years, 6 years more experienced than him? So Peter is saying, I've been to about 10 competitions in 1 year and a half. That's a lot, really. So congratulations. And I think hard sparring is really important to get my level up on to the opponent's level. Definitely my point, Peter. So thank you for reacting. It's definitely my point. It is, of course, if your goal is to go to competition. Here we have, like I said, a young guy who is ready to go to competition, who would like to go to competition. So it's good, as well as Peter. They will need hard sparring with more experienced guy, because they will know what mistake to do at the end of the sparring. What I didn't say at first is that he also took a small knockout to the spleen, or the liver. I don't know. It was the liver, because it was on the bright side. So, but the kind of knockout where he got up maybe after 10 seconds. But it's good. Even knowing this sensation is good, because if you never know this sensation, and in a fight you happen to have it lightly, you will be like so surprised that you could go down for a small knockout that you would suppose you would be supposed to support, to sustain. Sorry. So definitely hard sparring is a must. And should we, because we do Kyokushin, back in the days they used to do hard sparring like almost on a daily basis. Should we always do hard sparring in Kyokushin? And just to say, before you answer, even if you don't do competition, we're doing a real karate, a real fight discipline, a real fighting discipline. Even if you're not into competition, even if you're older, lighter, if you are a kid, we should always feel thankful for somebody going a bit harder on you, a bit harder on us. But according to your level, hard sparring for my guy here, my boy here, who is 16 years old, will not be hard sparring for somebody with a, I don't know, heart condition, or somebody with a certain age. It will not. It will definitely not be the same. So my opinion is, you cannot do Kyokushin all your life without being challenged, because we could do some point karate and give belt to somebody, and says he's not even able to punch someone lighter than him, or less experienced than him, and maybe it will go. Maybe the person starts Kyokushin at 40, 45. Maybe he's never been into sports, but 10 years later he becomes a black belt, and people spared him all his life. People never challenged him. It was always light sparring, sometimes medium sparring, again for his level, for his composition, which won't be the same for somebody else. And maybe he will reach brown belt or black belt, and has never been pushed beyond his limit, almost to the point, as we see sometimes in camps, or grading, especially in grading, to where he can get up for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. He has to take his breath. He has to. If he never knows that, how will he definitely be a good black belt? You know what I mean? So tell me in the comments what you think about that. If every person doing Kyokushin, every person doing martial arts, no, I would stay on the Kyokushin topic. Every person doing Kyokushin, should he or she know from time to time, maybe more often, it will depend on the dojo, maybe less often, but at least should he know about hard sparring? Should he know or should she know about hard sparring? Should she or should he take severe hits sometimes that really won't let him continue? Like my guy, he took a small KO. He was down. It was a good sparring. They did 3 to 5 minutes before it went down, so it was not after only a couple of seconds. Tell me what you think in the comment about sparring, about hard sparring in Kyokushin. And don't forget, guys, that this podcast will be recorded. So if you want to come back at any moment on it, it will be uploaded on One Kyokushin, as well on my own channel, Kyokushin Hero. Just I had a problem here because I couldn't put it on. I couldn't put it live, so I can't see it in the live right now. But it will be recorded, and normally I should be able to see it. You should be able to see it on my channel at least after this. Sparring. It's really one of the most important thing in Kyokushin is sparring. So some dojos sometimes don't do sparring. Maybe sometimes because the sensei is older, but I think it's really a shame. I think it's really a shame that some dojos won't do sparring. Even if the sensei doesn't spar, the teacher doesn't spar. I think it's really a shame to forget about that. As everything else, of course. We could say the same about kata because it's not the subject here. But I've been with the Shian Valerie in the camp where I was this weekend. There was also the vice world champion of kata, and also had the chance to interview him, and he's been really very kind to give me his opinion about kata and about what it means to do kata in Kyokushin. And so you will discover this interview after the interview of Shian Valery Dimitrov. But definitely you should watch it because it's really got a very interesting insight about kata. And I did spar with him. I did spar with him as well as I did with Shian Valery. So I did spar with Senpai Nikolai. And the sharpness of his technique like amazed me. Of course, it's not a Kyokushin champion in fighting, but his sharpness in kata when I saw him work, and he works on many aspects to get where he is now. He worked on many aspects that we don't do. If I were to train for kata today, I would train only on repetition. Uh, Maybe rhythm, maybe breathing, maybe the fist will be like that, the finger like that, and he showed us, Senpai Nikolai showed us things to go even further beyond to become a kata champion such as he is. To work on mobility, to work on explosivity, to work on different parameters that make us that can make you better when you want to perform kata in front of judges, because here is not only artistic performance, it's a sport performance, like almost like a dance contest. Kata can be seen like a dance, even if it's not. It's way more than that, but we can see it like a dance, and you have to impress judges. If you lack sharpness, if you lack sharpness, if you lack neat moves, You're also facing the fact that in combat, like Senpai said, it was very interesting. In combat, if you make a mistake, you can always come back with the wazari. The fight is not over until the last second. But when you do kata, you have 2 minutes, 1 minute, I don't know, and once you've made a mistake, it's over. Just to say that we shouldn't overlook anything. But of course, sparring on a regular basis is important. But as is kata, as is kion. So um, definitely, and now I want to talk about why light sparring is also very important, in my opinion. So I always say to people when they ask me about sparring, of course, once again, it's my humble opinion. I want to remind everybody about that every time. But I don't have, I'm not a world champion. Um I guess you need every level of sparring. Sometimes you need hard sparring with people more experienced. Sometimes you need hard sparring with people your level because you can go the distance. Sometimes you need hard sparring with beginners because with beginners you will be able to focus more on technique, focus more on speed, focus more on counter attack than you will with a hard sparring with someone more experienced than you. You need medium sparring sometimes. Medium sparring is sparring where I approach the peak of my comfort zone. I could do medium sparring for 10 minutes, be a little bit like this, but still be okay to after 1 minute break to go back for one or two more. And again, with different levels, someone more experienced than you, someone as with your level, and someone with a more beginner level. And light sparring is interesting to work on everything that you cannot work because you won't have focused. You won't have focus on that. Light sparring is interesting to work on for example, blocks, for example, speed, for example, accuracy, hitting exactly where you want. So you could work light sparring, so with a light contact, but with speed, with explosion. Even so, at the moment where you touch, it will only be a small hit because then you will be able um, to sustain hits. You will be able to sustain hits to go a long distance. You can work on cardio if you work with a speed and explosivity. You can work longer and work on your cardio, work on um, on precision. So you can work on precision. So it's very important, according to me, to work to work light sparring. Sometimes you will be tired. So we talked about motivation earlier. We talked about discipline. Sometimes I will be disciplined to go to training, but I will feel a bit more tired, a bit more. I'm just not in a good shape, or maybe am I injured? So does that mean that because I'm injured, I shouldn't go to training? No, I can go to training, and if I'm very injured, there's still kata and kion to work. But if I can do sparring, if I'm a bit injured, I can do light sparring to work on precision, technique. I can work on my openings. I can work on combination. Ba 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 bam. Light sparring, and 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 be in shape while still recovering. So definitely, tell me what you think about this my opinion, and give me your opinion in the comment section. Do you do sparring often? Do you think we should always do hard sparring? If yes, maybe at what pace? Maybe you would say at least once a week we should do hard sparring no matter what, or at least or maybe only when competition is approaching and maybe grading, but the rest of the time we should be light. It can be according to people. Tell me, speak your mind on in the comment section. Tell me what you think about sparring. for myself, when I lack sparring, I feel it. Um, as a teacher, it's not always easy to find the moment to spar with your students, because sometimes you are so focused on their evolution, on their improvements, or sometimes maybe there will be a pair, so you cannot enter because you will say you will someone won't have to fight, you will fight, and so one of your students will stay. So I don't like that. Now I try to do it more and more. I set a timer, and I said the one at the end of the line is going out, so like that I can incorporate myself in the group, because they need to fight with me to progress, and I need to fight with them to keep in shape. Goal, of course, is not the same. um, but sometimes when I for like 1 week, 2 weeks, I haven't done enough sparring. I can do cardio to the gym. I can do strength training to the gym. So I know I punch hard. I know I can take hits, but I feel like I really lose um, a habit. I mean, I've again, when you practiced for as long as I did, you're telling yourself that it's okay, because you know Kyokushin, there's that it's not that there is nothing that you can't learn anymore, but Kyokushin, it will never go. It's like a bicycle, when you haven't rode a bicycle for a couple of months, maybe years. The scheme is still printed in your head, but the 5 or 10 minutes, the first 5 or 10 minutes, you will take that bike. It will feel strange. It will feel very strange to be there, and to um, it's like you've done it, you know it, but you have to take back every little habit, every little thing that you knew before, because you were doing it almost every day. And sparring has a little bit the same feeling. When you stop sparring for a couple of weeks, of days, maybe days not, but at least weeks, because maybe there was a break at the dojo, was holiday or something like that. You lose the habit of doing sparring, and it's really impressive, because we know about cardio. If you don't train cardio, you will lose cardio. But if you don't train sparring, it's a bit like the same. You will lose the habit to do sparring. You will lose the habit to do to fight. And I see it because it can be about some technique will go somebody's sparring with you, and you haven't sparred for a couple of weeks, a couple of maybe month, or here and there, but not enough. And then someone will just touch you at a place where you say, but I should be able to sustain that, or I should have been able to see it coming. And see, it's really something that shouldn't be considered when we do sparring. It's that uh, it really can it really can go. If you don't spar, it's a habit that's not trained. Even if you do kata, if you do kion, if you do technique in the heavy bag, sparring, the real condition of fighting can be lost at some point. I mean, can go down at some point. So Peter is saying that we spar a lot, mainly medium strength, and I think that for an average dojo is not a competition dojo. It's the best pace to work on medium strength, meaning that you're still able to do it on a daily basis. Because if you spar hard one training, then the second, probably the second one or the third, you will be injured, and maybe 1 week you will not really be able to do sparring. So medium strength with protections is ideal on a regular basis. Maybe once out of 3 weeks, once a month, once out of 2 weeks, depending on your agenda. If you got competitions, if you got grading, it's interesting to do hard sparring, but on a more regular basis. Maybe medium strength, medium sparring, medium intensity is better. So thank you, Peter, for speaking your mind. If some of you have other questions, again, feel free to write them in the comment section to ask or just speak your mind. Tell me what you think about sparring. Do you spar a lot, or would you like to do more sparring? Because sometimes you will say that you don't have enough. For example, in the camp, I went to France this weekend. Today was the sparring the sparring day. So we had a whole Saturday of doing technique with Shian Valeri, with Kion, with Kata, with Senpai Nikolai. Um, so a whole day of Kyokushin from 6 a.m. to almost 6 p.m. And today was only 30 sparrings, and I was like a bit disappointed, even though I was not in a good shape. I was a bit disappointed because 30 sparrings of 1 minute goes so fast, like only for a camp, only a half hour of fighting. I did think that we could have done at least twice that, at least, with a couple of breaks, of course, but at least twice that. Because it's the part that everybody awaits, and the more you spar, again, the more you spar, the more you will be able to progress. So Shian Valery Dimitrov was sparring with us on that day, so I had the chance to go ask him for a small match, small sparring. But I think about all the other people that maybe would have liked to spar with him, and the organizer. We had only, unfortunately, 30 sparrings, maybe because of the timeline. I'm a bit disappointed. I would have wanted more sparring, more sparring. And I spoke about Senpai Nikolai earlier. I think I wasn't done with my point. Who is a vice champion in kata, um, at the last world tournament, and it was really maybe I don't know about you. Maybe it wasn't my point, my case. But you maybe people would expect that someone doing really good kata in Kyokushin won't be a tremendous fighter. Maybe you would think that at first, and but when I sparred with Senpai Nikolai, it was just amazing to see uh, how his practice of kata made him an excellent fighter. I thought it was the way he moved. He's lightweight like me, so maybe he's a bit lighter than me. But the way he moved, the way his muscle were going to tense, that was something else completely different from all the people I usually fight with, who are fighters for the most part. So it was like rediscovering something, a new way of fighting. It was so neat, so precise. He had a different way of movement. It's almost like it was doing a kata while sparring, if you know what I mean. So it was really impressive to see how his level of kata is also making him an amazing fighter, an amazing sparring partner, even if it's not a champion in fighting, is definitely able to teach people who want to go to competition with a certain level, of course. It was really I did spar with him twice, actually. It was really great to notice that his practice in kata made him such an amazing fighter. Really, it was neat, precise. He had combinations. Uh, he almost had everything an actual competitor in fighting would need. Um, I really am curious to see someone his level, maybe challenging, if he challenged someone on the mat, if he did go on the mat one day in fighting. I'm curious to see how it could affect the fight, how his kata practice would affect the a real kumite, because here, of course, it was sparring, but I'm sure that it would be amazing to see him fight in on the mat. But of course, you cannot be some people maybe are a kata practitioner at his level, as well as a fight competitor at such a level. If I did a regional competition in fighting and in kata, maybe it would be okay, but he is a vice world champion in kata. I don't know if you've ever seen a Kyokushin kata championships. I've only started going and getting interested in seeing kata competition for a couple of months, maybe a year. Last year in Belgium, we had a big one with people coming from Switzerland, from yeah, and also this year the same competition was organized again by a club, a dojo, not far from where I live, and uh, that's just mind blowing. That's just mind blowing because um, you see the sharpness. I've always tried to do my kata as well as I could. I've been being putting all my attention in kata really to to focus on it as well as I could. But when you see these people going hard on kata, the way they move, the way they I couldn't if someone like Senpai Nikolai hadn't showed me how they train, I couldn't imagine it myself. Even if I do mobility for fighting, mobility for competition, if he didn't show me some of his tricks, some of his routine, his training routine to train, I wouldn't have believed it. I wouldn't have imagined it myself. So it was really amazing to see. And when you go in a kata competition, this one was like more the one I went a couple of months ago was like more of European championship, but with not many competitors. Even if there were people from Switzerland and a couple of countries, it was a small European Championship. But saying that Senpai Nikolai is vice champion in the world Shin Kyokushin, one of the greatest organizations of Kyokushin in the world, being vice champion in that kind of level is just something else. And I'm very proud to have been able to learn from him during this weekend. So if you guys have also if you guys still have questions about sparring, or how to improve yourself in sparring, or anything, just feel free to ask in the chat. Feel free to give me your opinion, because I want this to be I will try to do regular lives, so we can discuss about Kyokushin. I will also try to come up in the next lives with a review of fightings, which could be interesting. So maybe the next live could be a review of fightings, a review of maybe more than a review of fights, of a fight, maybe of a fighter, maybe of one of the most amazing competitors we have. Maybe I will do a selection, and we'll try to come up with a couple of videos on YouTube, and then comment on the fights. What can we learn from renowned fighters, and the footage we have from them on the internet? What can we learn? Because we all know they can put some great KOs, but we could spend some time together watching fights, watching them fight, watching their fights. I'm going to we could watch their fights and enjoy together their their style, enjoy their technique, and comment on them. So it's an idea I'm having. So if you're thrilled about it, tell me in the comments if you think it would be a good idea to do review of great fighters. I could select maybe 4, 5, 6, 7. It can be 10, because fights are 2 minutes, and we could come back every time on 10 seconds. Here he did this. Here he did this. Oh, here he missed it. But see how the technique is very good, and see how many people nowadays do it. For example, I won't. No, I won't spoil. I wanted to say, because I asked Shian Valery Dimitrov who he was admiring, but I won't tell you. I won't tell you today. I will keep it for the interview that I will release. I will release probably in 2 weeks. So in not next Sunday, but the Sunday after. So I will wait a couple of minutes if you have still questions, or if you want to give me your opinion on sparring, as it was the last subject of the day. And after that, I think we can call it a day. And for me, I can even call it a week, actually. Was a long weekend. Mm. I hope you guys also enjoy this kind of initiative. We had like only two viewers um, as a basis during this live. It's not that much, but I'm just happy that some people are still here. At least I don't do it for no one. It's a new concept in Kyokushin. I don't think this has been done a lot. Again, this is not only to speak my mind. Remember, I want to remind everybody that this is a free space, that you should be able to speak your mind. It's not. Ooh, I got a cramp. Oh, that's bad. That will go on the live then. No worries. Okay. I should definitely buy a gaming chair or some sort. Like you see, these very comfy chairs for gamers. But as I was saying, I hope you guys like this kind of initiative. If people will listen to this after the live is uploaded, I hope you like the initiative of somebody doing that. Again, don't hesitate to follow my content on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook by following Kyokushin Hero. Um, and really, I want to create something, a community around Kyokushin. So something that we could discuss again. I'm not an international expert. The goal is not only for me to give my opinion, or only to tell you what I think or what to do, but really it's a free space to exchange, to be together around that. So you could also comment if you have ideas on what I could speak about in lives, because sometimes I just come up with subjects such as today was motivation, discipline. I could do it a bit more structured. I noticed that here I hadn't prepared anything, so maybe it was a bit confusing from time to time. But really, it's just a friendly conversation. It's the first. It's only the second live I'm doing. If we don't count the live of the comments of the European Championship. It's only second live, so I'm still figuring out one or two things. But really, I'm enjoying it so far, and I want to be able to create this community around Kyokushin. So if you guys are thrilled by it, if you like it, if you enjoy it, but also tell me what I could improve. Also tell me what I could talk about, because there are not endless subjects, and it should stay, of course, about Kyokushin, or at least peripheral. So everything related to how to be better in Kyokushin, or how can Kyokushin influence this or that. And also, yeah, definitely give me topics to talk about, um, and stay tuned. I think we will call it a day for this one. So thank you again for following. This podcast will be available on Spotify and Apple Podcast, so you can come back anytime you want, and on YouTube, of course. I'll see you guys in the next, maybe in 3 weeks, maybe in 3 or 4 weeks. I'll do another live. Maybe once a month is a good pace for now. And don't hesitate to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Like I said, next video is released next Sunday. So I release a YouTube video about a fighting technique, or some attitude that's good for you to improve your fighting skills on my channel. um, every 2 Sundays. So 1 week out of two. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next. Bye bye, and have a good end of weekend. Bye bye.